Hey there! Welcome back to An Introvert's Paradise. I'm Kendrick Kaiju, and today we're having a look at the October update in inZoi, also known as the Halloween update. Now going in, I knew that this was an update akin to the June update and not an expansion pack like Chahaya was, like the Island Getaway expansion pack was. So I was going into this with the mindset that this was going to be something small. But then I went onto the official website, and there's a page there that shows you everything that got added, everything that got tweaked, and as you can notice, I just kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It goes on for a while. And reading through what got added in, there's definitely much more to this update than I gave it credit for. Sure, there's no fancy resort, but there's definitely gameplay improvements, new items, and definitely some quality of life improvements. My favorite addition to this update has to be this. Couples doing couples stuff while sitting together, because for the longest time, I don't even know if you can watch TV together, let alone do anything, well, other than talking while sitting on a couch. A lot of talking in this game. To me, these interactions are huge. First of all, they're really well done. It's so good that I zoomed in just to watch my Zoi interact with each other. And it was so nice. Now, I'm not saying the game is void of sweet coupley things, but this is an excellent addition. As I said, they did a really good job. It just very realistic. They got those little nuances that people have. Because Kaijun has brought up in the past that one of the major critique of this game is that Zoi don't feel realistic enough. And it's things like this that's going to remedy that situation. And even though I don't have any footage because I don't play with any teen Zoi, and kids are certainly not my jam, there are new interactions between at least teens with one another and parents with their toddlers. To me, the more interactions, the merrier. Because I remember, I think it was Sims 2. I remember there was only a couple interactions between toddlers and pets, but it was the most adorable thing I've ever seen. I was hoping there would be more at some point. So hopefully we get more interactions between all the age groups, but certainly when pets come out, I hope there's plenty of interactions between them and toddlers. It would certainly go a long way in defrosting this icy heart in my chest. I know this is the furthest thing from the main selling feature of this update, but I love this being able to lie down while looking at your phone. It's such a human thing. We all lie down when we're on our phone, when we watch TV and stuff. Anytime I can get away with lying down and doing something, you better believe I'm choosing that option. We need more things like this, just things we do on a regular basis. These are definitely much appreciated and a step in the right direction. Now we need more. Hopefully at some point they address, because inZoi does something really weird. There's a lot of needing to take a seat to have a conversation. Like you see it in movies, whenever somebody is giving somebody bad news, they always start with, "You might want to sit down for this one." But in inZoi, we're just having mundane conversations. Why do we need to take a seat for this one? It's fine to have conversations while seated, of course. That's a normal thing to do as well, but only if we're already seated. If we're purposely taking a seat, it seems very formal, right? It does seem like bad news is coming, or you're at a business meeting of sort. And I'm not saying don't ever grab seats to talk, because again, it depends what type of conversation it is. Sometimes that makes sense. And while we're at it, even add in the occasional one person sits while the other stands. That's all normal dynamics. But I think in general, we just need to play it where it lies. If the person is standing, let's have the conversation standing. Only mixing it up if it makes sense to, and I guess every so often, throw in a random mix to keep things interesting, if not a bit more realistic. And on top of more interactions with one another, we can now play pool and go bowling together. It was definitely weird that we couldn't do it before, because these are two activities that in real life if you're not playing with other people, it's a pretty good indicator that your life is going in the wrong direction. Because I've literally only seen one pool table in my life, and it was at the bar that I used to go to. It's one thing to go drinking with friends and shoot some pool, have a great time, but if you're there by yourself, and the one bowling alley I've been to, that place was just gross. Anyone who's going there willingly by themselves, alright, let's take a step back, 1 foot in front of the next, and just play some inZoi. I love farming and I love fishing, so I'm really pleased that there's a new crop to grow and a new type of fish to catch. We can now grow pumpkins in inZoi, and just as importantly, and perhaps even more exciting, that also leads to 3 new recipes that we can cook. The pumpkin soup, the pumpkin pie, and the pumpkin candy. Now, I don't know if I've ever had pumpkin soup. I have definitely never had pumpkin candy, and to tell you the truth, it doesn't interest me even the slightest. But boy, do I love me some pumpkin pie. So now inZoi me can also enjoy this delicious treat. But unlike me, he can have it every single day. I like to remain an introvert by choice, and not because I can't leave because I can't fit through the front door anymore. And ghost fish are now a thing in inZoi, and you can catch them between 6 p.m. at night to 6 a.m. in the morning. It certainly fits in with the theme of the Halloween update. It's an interesting idea, but I'll be honest, I can't say I'm excited about this. It looks cool, but it doesn't really move the needle for me. Because if it came down to catching a ghost fish or catching a salmon that I can eat, I'm catching that salmon each and every time. But it is something different, it is thinking out of the box, and it does look cool. I'm glad that devs are trying different things, trying to put their own stamp on this genre, but not every decision, not everything they're going to come up with is going to please everybody. And they shouldn't try to please everybody. Just make what they think is good. Now let's talk about one of the main selling points, one of the main features of this update, the Halloween update. Halloween comes to inZoi. Trick-or-treating comes to inZoi. Now, when I play inZoi, I don't have kids, I don't have multiple generations, but I know a lot of life sim players play it that way. Creating a family, raising kids, that's part of the fun for them. As I said, kids are not my jam, in-game or otherwise. But I still welcome the feature because it's playing a part in helping create a more fuller, complete, realistic, and immersive game. But with that being said, again, great idea, but I don't think they stuck the landing with the execution. Because first of all, only one child shows up per night, or at least that's been my experience. And instead of just knocking on the door, taking the candy, and then leaving, moving on to the next house so that the next kid in line can get some candy, they just invited themselves right into the house. And she went as far as sitting on the couch. And even after she got her candy, she stuck around and tried to have a conversation with Kyle. "What are you doing, little girl? That's Halloween 101. One of the first things they teach you in school is never go into a stranger's house to get that candy. In fact, whenever a stranger is offering you candy, run in the opposite direction." So Kyle had to be like, "Little girl," and I actually caught myself when I was playing, like, don't kick her out of the house, just ask her to leave. So he was like, "Little girl, please leave the house. And when you get to the next house, don't go inside. Just take the candy and then move on." So they need to tweak the system. They need to make it closer to reality where, first of all, it's lots of kids that come by and they all just stop long enough to get their candy and then move on to the next house. Now, I'm really digging some of these new items. I don't know why, but when it comes to video games, I always like gothic, scary things. Whereas in reality, no thank you. If I even see a cemetery, I'm walking across the street. But in-game, I love this type of stuff. And in The Sims, I always had multiple vampire playthroughs. And even though I want inZoi to do its own thing, I don't want it to retread on The Sims too much. The keyword there is too much. You can retread a little bit. Never mind lichens. Leave the werewolves out of it. But vampires, I feel like that's a must. I feel like you're committed now. You've got tombstones, coffins, hellfire, and brimstone. The devs need to put vampires in the game, because that stuff is cool at a vampire house. If a regular guy has some tombstones and a casket sitting in his living room, well then he's just the weird, scary neighbor nobody wants to live next to. Yeah, these decorative items are really cool. It just created a lot of potential for really cool supernatural house builds. And I think the other main feature of this update is the introduction of ghosts. Were you looking forward to it? I'll be honest, I wasn't. Again, vampires? I'll play all day as a vampire. But ghosts? I never got into it in The Sims. It didn't appeal to me then, and it still doesn't appeal to me now. But with that being said, I still gave it a fair shot, I still tried it out, and I gotta say, I was right to not be excited about it. Maybe this is a hot take, but I found ghosts in this game to be very disappointing. First of all, you only get to be a ghost for 3 days. You don't start off with all the ghostly powers too, you have to unlock them by doing a quest with the librarian from the AR library, which on paper sounds really good. The idea is really good. The quest part, not the being a ghost for 3 days. Doing a quest in inZoi, I didn't see that happening so soon. I know people want a story in inZoi, but because they only brought that up pretty recently, I don't think this is what that is. I think they were working on this beforehand. And the idea is not bad. Giving the ghosts a quest, that's a different take on ghosts compared to The Sims. It certainly came out of left field, it's certainly not what I expected, so I commend them for trying something, but unfortunately it just didn't work. It just wasn't good, it just wasn't fun. So long story short, you talk to the AR lady, she sends you to talk to ghosts, and they send you on a fetch quest. You do something for them. And I'm pretty sure that's how the powers are unlocked. As by the time I realized we had powers, I had a couple unlocked and I think I did 2 missions, so that would make sense, but I can't confirm it because I'm stuck right now. Because I got lost for a long time, probably about a half-hour real time, because they told me to go to the Lumiere. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I went to the Lumiere Gallery in Bliss Bay without realizing there's a residence called the Lumiere, and that's what they meant. So after I figured that out, the next quest, a couple of ghosts that are getting married sent me to go and look for their lost ring. And the lost ring is in one of the mineral patches. You know, the one where you go around with your pickaxe to dig the mineral out? Those that are scattered across the city. I don't know how many there are. And it doesn't even matter. Let's say there's only 5 in Bliss Bay. Bliss Bay is huge. This is literally looking for a needle in the haystack. Well, I suppose if you don't get lost for a half hour like I did, this is less tedious. It'd be less of an issue. But at that point, I was like, you know what? I said out loud, life's too short. I'm not doing this. It's a video game at the end of the day. If there's a feature that's not fun, just don't play it. There's plenty of things that I like about this game, plenty of things that bring me joy. I'm just gonna engage with those features. Especially because you only get to be a ghost for 3 days anyway. So it doesn't make sense to jump through all these hoops that I find so unpleasant for powers that I don't even get to keep, for a file that I don't even get to keep. I don't agree with this choice to have the ghost disappear after 3 days. I feel like you should be able to keep the ghost for as long as you want. Have a ghost playthrough, have a family of ghost playthrough if that's what you want. I keep imagining a haunted inn where your ghost family lives and you scare the guests while they're there. Some enjoy it, some don't. I really hope they incorporate something like this, well, if they ever do the open for business type of expansion pack, where I guess people know that it's haunted, and if you do a good job scaring folk, making it interesting for them, your haunted inn rating goes up the more money you make. That'd be really cool, that'd be interesting. But I suppose they would have to change this 3-day ghost situation, and I don't see that happening. Now, Kjun has said Someday you'll be able to reincarnate, I guess meaning coming back to life, which is good, I guess. But I feel like if you're going to incorporate ghosts, let us be able to be ghosts forever and have the choice to come back. Alright, I think that's enough from me for today. There's a lot more to talk about, but we're not going to get to it. As I said, this is a bigger update than I expected. There's a lot of little quality of life improvements, which I really appreciate. I don't know, maybe it's a placebo effect, but I feel like the game feels better, it looks better. I think the cars drive faster. I am excited to play minus the ghost. And even though I feel like a couple of the main selling points, the main features of this update didn't stick the landing, I still feel like they got a lot right. Something like, for example, character customization, the traits namely. Because a while back I was talking about those traits and how I would have loved a system where you could kind of mix and match traits, kind of like create your own, because there'd be some traits I'm like, okay, this is perfect for my Zoi, except that they're extroverted instead of being introverted. And I was hoping there'd be a way in the future where you can mix and match that. Well, guess what? Now there is. Because they've introduced characteristics, 15 of them. And amongst them, extroverted, introverted, bookworm, fitness enthusiast. So now I can go back and find that perfect trait I wanted last time and just put in introverted. You get to pick 2, so I'll probably pick, well, certainly not bookworm or fitness enthusiast now that I think of it. Something. But overall, I'm very pleased with this update. I think they got a lot of things right with this one. It's yet another step in the right direction. We're moving, we're trending positively with each and every update. I said inZoi would be good, and I'm confident someday I'll be proven right. Alright, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your wonderful comments. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. I truly, truly appreciate all of it. We're gonna talk soon, okay? But until then, you take care of yourself and just make it through another day.